your girl Beauty87 here, aka Grace, and today we will be ranking all of my BH Cosmetics palettes. So I had more palettes than I thought I did, because originally when I first got into makeup, I purchased very few BH Cosmetics palettes just because it was like, I don't know what it was, like I didn't get a good vibe from them, and I didn't think like their color stories and all that was that great, so I didn't buy a lot of stuff. I think I had like, besides the Carly Bible palettes, I think I had the what do you call it, I had the original Zodiac palette, I had the Zodiac Love Signs, and then I had the Opulence one, I believe, and that video actually got me a lot of views. But I didn't really own BH Cosmetics just because like I didn't think their stuff was as good, and then ColourPop was just starting to emerge when I started like on my YouTube journey. Before I actually started making videos, like when I just watched other people's videos, people would always talk about this ColourPop land. So I just, you know, kind of bought into them instead of buying into BH Cosmetics. But BH Cosmetics has, you know, brought themselves up this year, and in the last couple of years I guess people say they started to get better. So I figured we could rank some of the ones I have, and then, you know, talk about why I like them as opposed to the way they used to be. Now I do not own the Carly Bible deluxe one anymore. I gave the original Carly Bible to my grandma, and then the Opulence one I decluttered, so I don't have those along with the original Zodiac palette, because again I gave those to my cousins. But we can talk about the one I do have, and that will be, of course, dead last. So let me see. I have 11, and number 11 is the Zodiac Love Signs palette, for obvious reasons. Like I just talked about the history of them and how their quality has gotten better over the last couple of years. So this one was made long before then. Now the baked shadows in here are amazing. I've never used a highlighter just because I don't think to grab in this palette, not to mention I feel like it's quite frosty. And I think it's weird that my Zodiac sign, where is it? Scorpio, is this weird like hot pink. I'm like, where did they get this like powdery ass pink shade? And of course it would be a shade that I've always fucking complained about. That's the shade they put for my Zodiac sign. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I mean, I don't do the brow bone thing, and even if I did, that's way too light for somebody my skin tone. And then the shimmer is cute, but I would only put it in the inner corner because I don't know about putting it all over my lid. I did that yesterday for the Fenty video, and I didn't like it too much. Oh, by the way, I have on the Fenty foundation powder right now alongside of the Fenty hydrating foundation, and the majority of my face is Fenty, so we have on a Fenty cream bronzer, Fenty powder bronzer. I have on Honey Waffles on my lips. I do have on the Little Ray of Sunshine eyeshadow palette from ColourPop, and yeah, the majority of my other stuff is Fenty. Oh, and my blush is always Spicy from e.l.f. just because when I don't know what blush to put on, that's the one I usually grab for. I wanted to put Rosé Latte underneath it and then put that on top like I normally do, but I ran out of what is it, Sigma blending kabuki brushes to do it with, or either I just didn't want to clean the other one because I had like 2 of them. But yeah, so anyway, back to this palette. So this is dead last just because I don't usually reach for palettes like this. I mean, their baked formula is really nice, but I just don't reach for stuff like that. And then like the colors in here, I feel like don't really correlate to what I like. These are more warm tones, and they're like a lot of nude tones, and y'all know that's not my vibe. As I sit here with a nude ass eyeshadow palette on, but Little Ray of Sunshine is only stuff like this, so I didn't have a choice. But this palette I have a choice, and it's like I just wasn't really vibing with that much. I think I used this one and this one once, and I think like this one and those like a couple times. That was pretty much it. Like this palette just didn't get that much love for me, and I'm actually going to declutter it after this video is over, so it will be going bye-bye. But I figured I'd show it to you since I hadn't decluttered it yet. So that's number 11. So number 10, I feel like you shouldn't be surprised by either. This is Summer in Saint-Tropez. It's nothing wrong with the formula of this, but if you all remember, I said I'm not inspired by this. I did a video part 1 and part 2 of palettes that I'm uninspired by, because as y'all know I keep makeup in both places, so I have to do videos in both places. So this is number 10 to me, and I know Morgan Turner loves it, and it was like in her best eyeshadow palettes of this year, but it's just the color story of this to me just does nothing. Like it reminds me of a poor man's version of like Riviera by ABH, and like I don't really like that one either, but I'll at least try with that one before I try with this one. I don't know, it's just, to me it's just a whole bunch of jumbled random nonsense, and I don't want to be a part of it. So that's why it's number 10 for me. It has nothing to do with the formula. It's just they have better color stories than this ain't exist. That's why it was 50% off for a long time on Ulta, because it just wasn't it. Anyway, so that was number 10. So number 9 is one of the Weekend Vibes palettes. This is a Mimosa palette. I do like pinks, but it's just like I don't like the way they set this color story up, like this random yellow and these random oranges. I mean, I get mimosas have orange juice in them, so I get why they have the orange and like the yellow or whatever. But I don't understand the purpose of the white at all. And then like a lot of the pinkish, purplish tones, I just feel like I have better pink palettes. Like I'd rather reach for the Ooh La La palette or I'd even settle for that one that they just came out with, the cloud spun or whatever. I finally got the name right. I always say the name wrong. But anyway, I like this one. It's just, I reach for other palettes over it, which is why it's so lower down. That's why it's number 9. So now we're getting to the ones I actually genuinely like and would reach for on a consistent basis, as opposed to like the ones I just showed you. So next we have the Trending in Tokyo palette. I actually, at first when I tried this, I didn't think it was that great, but after working with it a little bit, I like it a little bit better, as you can see, because it's number 9 instead of, you know, at the very bottom. So this is when that formula started changing for the better, in my personal opinion, when they came out with this, like, what is this, the traveling edition or whatever, and this was the only travel palette that attracted me. The one that's for my city, I'm still upset about the chilling in Chicago. Fuck, were they thinking with that? They need to be stabbed. They should know Chicago don't play, so I don't know why they tried it with that sad color story. Chicago does not play. We ran Donald Trump out of here when he called himself, we're going to have a rally to run for president. So that tells you we don't play right there. And you tried it with that palette, so they still on my, you know, they still on side-eyed with me, aside from other reasons that I've named in previous BH Cosmetics videos that we're not gonna get into. I just don't feel like it. But this palette is really nice. I like the color story. If you need like a colorful palette and you missed out on the ColourPop one, which I heard wasn't that good, I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know, but I heard it wasn't that good, then you might want to go ahead and try to grab this one, just because I like the color story of it. They give you the pinks, they give you the blues, the greens, the purples, and then you get a nice little warm tone row for people who like warm tones. This row is hard to touch by me, but I have used this section over here quite a bit, just because those are my favorite tones. But it's a pretty decent palette for what it is, and BH usually has lots of sales. Like, they have a 20% off code right now that you can use, and I've seen this palette for like 50% off, and then you can use like a YouTuber's code to get, I think, another 10% off. So I mean, if you can find on a great deal, I definitely recommend it, but I'm not gonna say like go out of your way to get it, because I think it's like $16 or $18, so I feel like that's kind of high considering, you know, what it is in this formula isn't as good as like the Mimosa palette that I just showed you. So there's that. So that was, what was that, number 8? Yeah. So number 7 is another Weekend Vibes palette. This is the Avocado Toast palette. Now this would have been higher up if the one that I show you next wasn't hadn't come out this year. But yeah, this is a green palette. Y'all know I love my greens, my blues, and my purples. So it's like I want to see them come out with purple, like come out with a grape one or something. I don't know. I just need a purple one from them. I feel like that would be really fun. Do some grapes. You did a blueberry muffin, do like a grape soda or something, and then, you know, since they got mimosas, do a grape soda and make me a purple palette, please. Even though I don't really fuck with you like that, but I feel like the purple lovers would appreciate it, so I'm speaking for them. Anyway, I really like this palette. I love the different tones of green and stuff they use, and I feel like they put in some pinks and some other tones for the people who don't necessarily like a lot of green, so they can still use it everyday palette. Like, you can use these 3 shades for like an everyday palette and smoke it up at night with this. You can use these 2 at the top for everyday and put it with this one. So they kept in mind that some people might not want the green, but they still called it a avocado toast or green palette, and it still gave you a good variety of green, but still gave you some neutral tones, so just in case you didn't want to use the green zones in it, you still reach for that palette because it has some neutral flares for you. So I thought that was cool. And this is number 7, I believe. So number 6, I feel like you should not be surprised by it. If there's a blue palette, I'm always going to pick the blue palette over the green palette. I'm sorry, I just love blue just that much more than I love green. So this is the Blueberry Muffin palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. Again, I love the tones that they chose. Whoever's doing their color stories for their palettes now is doing way better than they used to, because I used to look at some of their palettes like, what the hell is this? What is this and why? But like the last couple of years, I think they've had pretty decent color stories. So again, they gave you nice little neutral tones just in case you don't want to use all the blues. Like, you got this gray, you got this shade, you got a couple of these, and this one for when you want to have a more like neutral approach, or if you just want to do a simpler smoky eye, you can use those. Use the gray and use this, and that makes it a little more everyday friendly for people who aren't going to try to dive into these light purples like I am. Like, I'm trying to use all these, I mean not purples but blues. I'm trying to use all these blues. Like, I love the shimmery blues. Like, I just love the way this palette's orchestrated. Or if you just want to dive in with blues and have like this shade to darken up the outer V, if you don't like sequin shades like I don't, and this is one of those like sequin shimmery mattes or whatever, and you can see the sequin in it, which I have dared not use it because I'm just like, no. But I really like this palette way better than the Avocado Toast one, just because I like the color story of this better. And again, I like blues just a smidge more than I like greens. So next one, I had to hum and haw and decide if I wanted to get or not. And I'm actually getting to put in I'm trying to decide if I'm going to get another one just to leave in my grandmother's house. Because I think it's actually that good. And it's 50% off now. So this is the Naughty palette. This is number 5. So now we're to the top 5. And the Christmas palette that they just came out with, the whole holidays, the Naughty palette. Karen Harris was raving about this. And then her friend Angelica was raving about it. So since both of them kept talking about it, I was like, I guess I'll go ahead and get it. It was on sale for $21.75 at Ulta, and then I think they had a 20% off coupon on top of that, so it was a pretty decent deal. I think it was like $15, and like right now it's only $14.75 on their website, so it's not that much cheaper than what I paid for it. This is what it looks like. I have already done 2 looks with this palette. The one you all will see in my ranking on my Milk Cosmetics palettes that I filmed on Christmas Day, mind you, dedicated to you all. What do you call it? I had on this palette, and then the one I filmed yesterday with the Fenty powder, I had this palette on as well. I didn't like that look as much just because I messed it up by doing this shade right here. That's why I was like, in the Avocado Toast palette, I know now not to touch a shade like that because I didn't like the way it turned out yesterday when I used it. But I really like this palette. The quality of this is really nice, like everybody was saying. Like the mattes blend really nicely, especially if you use a natural hair brush. I've been using my Refer brushes with these when I'm at home. I have more Refer brushes here, so of course I use more of them here than I do at my grandmother's house. But I really like the way this blended out. And I actually want to play with it more and more than I normally want to play with BH Cosmetic palettes, just because I felt like the formula is really nice and it has a decent color story. Like some of the colors in here I will never use. We know the ones. I don't need to name the ones. I always name the ones, so I'm tired of naming the ones. We're not going to name the ones. Drink every time I say ones. And I'm pretty sure you're drunk now. Anyway, I like this palette, so that's why it is one of the top 5. So this is 5. Now, I feel like we already know which collection made it the rest of the way. It's just which color stories did I put in which order. So believe it or not, you're probably shocked about this, but the green one is dead last. So the pistachio palette from the, what is the Sweet Shop collection from BH Cosmetics. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's this green that turns me off or this green that turns me off, or maybe the shimmers that correspond with these greens, but I only like the darker side of the palette. Like, I don't like this side of the palette, which is why it's dead last, because with the other palettes, I like, you know, everything. With this one, it's like I just like this half. So that's why this one is at the bottom. It's not that I don't like greens. It's just the avocado toast one I like a little bit better than this one. But the formula on this one is way better than the avocado toast. Or is, you know, to me, just a step up higher than that one. And with these other palettes, I just like their color stories better. So that's why the green one is at the bottom. I don't dislike the green, but it's just I got my hand over the part that I don't like. And if it's an 8-pan palette and I only like 4 colors, that's the problem. So that's why you're there left. So you're number 4 out of this collection. Number 3, believe it or not, is Cherries on Top. I'm not really a big red person, so I was thinking about putting it below the green one, but I realized I do like all the colors in this one as opposed to that one, or at least the majority of them. Like I could live without this shade right here, but I can use this to dust over the other reds, so it's still pretty much a complete palette to me. I usually like to just go on with these 2 and then put like one of these in the inner corner for my look, or maybe I'll just like loop around and use these and then put this on my outer V if I feel like I need extra dimension. And then I dust this over the top. So I feel like this one is more cohesive as far as for someone with my skin tone of colors that I would actually use on a consistent basis. And this is my only red palette in my collection, mind you, because I don't really like red tone palettes. But I will definitely hold on to this one. I got rid of the main squeeze, and so this is my red palette now. I was thinking about getting the wine knot, but it's like realistically, I don't use colors like that, and I don't, as a general, like colors like that. So that one is number, what is that, number 3? So number 2 is the Cotton Candy palette from BH Cosmetics. I really like this color story. I think I like it because it gives you a set of purples and then gives you a set of like pinks, and it gives you different tones of purples, but it still gives you a nice little pop of like pinks for cotton candy. So you got pink and purple cotton candy. This is probably like my favorite row right here, and then this one will be my second favorite row. These 2 are okay, but it's like since I own so many pastel palettes, because I'm a brown girl who loves pastels even though they don't love me back, I have plenty of pastels in my collection. So I mainly like this one for like the middle section right here. And this actually helped me not be sad about not getting the Vivid Rose from what are you talking about, from Give Me Glow, especially since they showed up to people without anything in the pan. Like Karen Harris got one that I think it was some lady called something about a frizz or something like that. She showed up with an empty palette. So like they were sending empty palettes all around. It's like I can just get this from BH for $18 and then use the influencer's discount code with 10% off. And you know, so that would, I think that brings it down to about like $15, but with shipping that'll make it like 20. But still, like I like this color story a lot, and to me it's somewhat reminiscent of that, enough to where I'm happy with having this and not having that. So, but if I did have, we'd definitely be doing a main chick, side chick, because that's the color story of that palette. I feel like it's based upon this, and since this came out first, you know, there you go. Anyway, this is number 2. So I feel like you should have known that the blue one was going to be number 1. So Bubblegum is number 1 to me. I absolutely love this color story. Like, I love this icy blue and this icy blue. I just feel like these shimmers are kind of close together, so I don't necessarily like that. But overall, I like the palette because I can give me a nice dark smoky look. I usually like use this, and then I'll use this and then put this in the inner corner, or I'll dab this on top of this and put one of these in the inner corner. Or if I want to go for a lighter look, I will use like this on the outer V, and then I'll use this on my lid, and then dust this over the top, and then use one of these as my inner corner color. So it's like I have every type of blue I need in this. I like this one and the Blue Moon from ColourPop the best. I actually like the On Cloud blue palette as well. So it's like I have 3 like solid blue palettes that I know I can go to that I absolutely love, and this one is just number 1 to me in this collection. So that is me ranking all of my BH Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. Let me know down below, did you get any of these on the restock, or did you have it the first go round like I did? Because I wasn't going to get this on the first go round, but then I was like, times are hard, the economy is bad, and these are $18 palettes that people, you know, would most likely be able to afford, especially since, like I said, BH always has codes and coupons, plus they're sold at Ulta, so you can use that $3, $3.50 off of 15, or luck up that they have 20% off your whole order coupon, and, you know, hook it up. So I grabbed them the first go round, but I want to know, did you grab them the first go round or second go round? I know my girl, Dr. Ash and her makeup had to grab them on second go round. If I remember correctly, I think she grabbed this one and cotton candy, or is pistachio and another one. I know she grabbed 2 of them, but I think it was cotton candy and pistachio that she grabbed instead. Anyway, let me know down below, do you have any of these palettes I named? Which ones are your favorites out of all the BH palettes that came out this year? Because they was like ColourPop and trying to pump out quite a bit. I feel like them, Makeup Revolution and ColourPop are always just trying to pump out everything in the world, which I guess is good since they're affordable. So that way, if you don't like it that much, you didn't lose out on a whole bunch of money. But you kind of did if you bought them all through the year instead of buying like the high-end stuff. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm going to stop rambling now. Remember, you all the diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.